everybody, it's Jade. Welcome back to my channel. Let's talk about childbirth education. I really want to be a resource for pregnant women and those who want to be pregnant one day, where they can be encouraged that the Lord wants to be a part of their pregnancy, especially their birth. If we put our hope and our trust in Him, we can take comfort that He wants us to enjoy our labor and love our bodies and how He made them to create life. Let's get into it. Today, let's talk about the epidural. The epidural is a shot that is placed into your spine to limit the amount of sensation that you have in contractions. Bupivacaine, lidocaine, hope I'm pronouncing those right. These are local anesthetics that are used for other surgeries because epidurals are not only used for labor, they're also used for procedures that have to do with the bottom of the body. I just want to cover for you guys some medical benefits and risks of getting an epidural because we want every decision that we make to be evidence-based and really thought out. One of the main benefits is that it reduces pain. Most people would describe the pain after you get an epidural as just pressure, which it's good that you're feeling pressure because you're still going to need to know how the baby is moving when they do come out. Some women find that they are more relaxed. This can really help with dilation of the cervix. Now that your body is in a state of relaxation, you're no longer all tensed up. And one other thing that I found was really interesting was that in the event that you would need a C-section, having an epidural already, there's less of a chance of them needing to knock you out. Now, some hospitals, it's just standard for them to knock you out, so you don't have a choice. But if you already have the epidural, you can make it in your plan that you don't want them to knock you out, and you can actually be a part of your baby coming out of you. I think that a lot of these benefits, they're really based on the mother, right? Some women really do enjoy their epidural because of the benefits that I listed. The risks, they're things that can happen because of an epidural. They're not really feelings, they're more things that can happen as side effects. It's always important to know so that you're not just being pressured into getting an epidural because you've heard that they can do all of these wonderful things, just knowing what you're getting yourself into. So, some risks. It doesn't 100% always work. Some women, they think that the epidural is a cure-all. It actually might still kind of be uncomfortable and irritating. Some women, they experience things called hot spots, which basically means that the epidural didn't work 100%. So there is a side of their body that is still feeling labor contractions. Another risk is that it can be harder to listen to your body when you're pushing. If you do not have a good support system in place, if you don't have that or you haven't thought about that, it can be really hard to know when you're pushing, what position you might need to be in so that the baby is able to come out in a more effective way. This can lead to using forceps or vacuum delivery, or if it just takes too long, they're going to eventually have to do a C-section. It also makes tearing a lot more likely because you are limited to one position. You can't really get out of the bed once you get the epidural. Like I said, if you don't have a support system, which you really should, or just really it just being your nurse, just asking them, can you please move me? When you're stuck in one position, and usually the position that they have you in is on your back, which is actually proven to be one of the worst ways to deliver a baby as far as, tearing and having, problems with them coming out and things like that. Now, thankfully, you won't feel the tearing as bad, but you won't be able to prevent the tearing as effectively. Another risk is that the epidural actually goes into the placenta and gets into the baby's bloodstream. This actually causes the baby to become a little drowsy. So when they come out, there may be problems with latching. They may not be as responsive just because they have a little bit of that medicine in their system. I also think that some other risks that are worth mentioning, they say are not too common, but they're pretty big deals. An epidural can cause a fever, which they would have to put you on antibiotics and fluids and oxygen. An epidural can also cause spinal fluid that goes into your head, and you can have really bad headaches, which can prevent you from bonding with your baby once they get here. Another thing that I think worth mentioning is that when you get an epidural, you have to have more induced contractions, which can cause fetal distress because the normal contractions give them breaks to rest. After all of that, I want to say that I'm going to put my source resources in the comment box. I found all of this information by watching videos and reading blogs and papers from different websites. I just want to take this information that I have found and put the mindset into a biblical perspective, because at the end of this, Jesus is the only way that we can even have hope that we can enjoy labor, right? Because Jesus gives us peace, gives us confidence. Because of him, we are able to be redeemed from thinking that labor is going to be painful and there's no getting out of it. With the epidural, it's important that we understand it as Christians, because there are really two pools of people. It's either bad or it's how I'm going to do it because I've planned it and I'm just don't want to be in pain. Doulas and midwives, they urge women to try to go unmedicated because of the risks that come with interventions like an epidural. When a woman is just suffering, when something goes wrong, God forbid, they find themselves maybe in the situation where they didn't want an epidural, but now they have to get an epidural, right? We should never feel condemned for our choices in childbirth. We should know that the Lord has got us, and we should be able to trust that he's going to make it exactly what we desire. Yes, that is a level of faith, but it's also a level of preparation, and it's a level of knowledge that we have to have about what's going on with our baby as well throughout the whole process praying. So I want to encourage you guys with this verse, Isaiah 53:5. But he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement for our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. Jesus came to take away our suffering. We don't have to suffer in childbirth. An epidural, it can be used as a tool. It's important that we know what we're getting ourselves into and we weigh the options before getting the epidural. However, we should never be shamed if we do get an epidural, and we should never be shamed if the epidural actually helped us in our labor, right? God is blessing us, and if we're giving our labor to him, we're going to be blessed through the whole process, and he is going to take care of us. The Lord wants you to enjoy your labor experience. He wants you to anticipate it with excitement. As we learn about and as we weigh the options, the best ones for ourselves, knowing that God has made our bodies to do this. It doesn't necessarily need to be made medical. Thank God that there is the medical community to help us in the instance that we need it. I just am here to encourage you to say that God wants you to rely on him, whatever that looks like. If we were to do the research and we really were to pray and settle in our hearts that we should strive to let labor be exactly what it was meant to be, that we should let it be as natural as possible and use the tools like an epidural that are in our tool belt in case we need them. I also want to read for you Romans 5:3. And not only that, but we also glory in tribulations, knowing that tribulation produces perseverance, and perseverance character, and character hope. Tribulation is hard. Labor is hard. But in tribulation, we can produce perseverance. We can produce character, hope, faith. A faith that we would not have if we didn't experience the tribulation that we did. Let Jesus be your answer. Let him show you what he wants your birth to look like. Last thing I want to mention is don't ever feel pressured into anything through fear. Don't ever let anyone pressure you and let you be fearful what God designed and made your body to do. A woman's body is so beautifully made, and we can really honor the Lord through this experience of childbirth. I think that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments box if there's questions you may still have. If you're pregnant, thinking about getting pregnant, wanting to get pregnant, or just love childbirth like me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.